Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, and then we are going to start. So the first thing that I like to do, especially on team calls, I haven't done it in a while. I need to get better at it, but we usually pray. And so I want to make sure that we do that because it's important, and it gives us the right vibe, and I don't know, it refreshes me. So I hope it does you too. So we're going to pray really quick and pray for all of this awesome power hour we're about to have. Okay. Dear God, we'd like to come to you and just pray that you give us the words and the wisdom that we need, the peace that we need, and the things that we're about to do, Lord. I pray also that when we're reaching out to these wonderful people that we truly love and care about, that they see our heart and that they see that we want something amazing for them, just like we have seen these amazing things for us as well. We pray that they're open, and we pray that we're able to just help so many people. And Lord, let us have fun, and let us just be open and be able to chat and share our struggles and things that we need help with, Lord, because sometimes we all know that with more minds, it helps. So Lord, just be with us tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. All right. So raise your hand if you watched the Bob video that I talked about. Did everybody watch the Jake Bob video? Some of you I can't see. So, okay, good. Super important to watch that. Oh my goodness. I can see Lorelai. Okay.
It's not really Lorelai, it's me. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay. Well, you'll have to fill me in on her later. But hey, Ashley. Okay.
Hello.
So everybody watch the Bob video. It's so important. I feel like this is really going to help everybody's businesses because you're building belief into these people before they even sign up. And so I've been using it on the last couple of people that I've signed up. So I'll see the transformation, see if I really feel like it's going to help like I believe it's going to. So raise your hand if you're using that method. If you started using that method, even if it's your own, like you tweaked it, are you using the Bob method that Jake talked about? No? Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay. So what I have been doing is I always tweak mine because I'm a very hot yellow, and I want to make sure that people see my heart and all of that when I'm doing this. So I tweaked a lot of it, but when I reach out to people, I'm just loving on them. I want them to see that I don't want them to fall off on these products. So if they're willing to be open to let me help them get these products paid for, we can go from there. But we'll get into the Bob in a minute, but maybe rewatch that. Highly recommend. Okay, so first things first, what is it that gets you going? Like when you do your power hour, what is it that motivates you? That it's a ritual you do. Sometimes we do affirmations. Like, is there something different that you do? I'll give you an idea for me. So I was able to win this amazing Alexa, and I love it. So she just turned on, sorry. I jam out to NSYNC or anything that just gets me going and fired up so I can knock out my power hour. The other thing is a lot of my team knows that I love robes, and robes keep me nice and warm, and I'm in my basement. So down here, we slay in our robes. So what is it that gets you going that's different for you? So we have a chat option. I would love to hear your comments there. Like, what is it? Is it hot chocolate? Is it music? What gets you going? So we're going to only take like a minute or two, and then we're going to jump in and follow-ups and stuff. So I want to hear.
I think definitely music, but also doing team power hours for me keeps me accountable, and I don't get so distracted. So when I'm doing them myself, it's really easy for my kids to like pull me away, or I get stuck scrolling or something. So when I'm on these calls, I am focused for an hour and actually get it done. And it's nice if you're talking to someone and you can bounce your ideas off of other people. So
that's my favorite too. Oh, my pink hot tea. I haven't tried that one yet. I'm not a tea person, so I will just trust you on that one. Oh, that's funny that yours turned on too, Deb. Sorry. Oh, working with my ladies. Yep. I love my ladies too. Some of you hopped on. What we're doing is just what motivates you? What gets you going on your power hour? Do you have to have music on? Do you have to do your Wonder Woman pose for 2 minutes? Like what is it, that gets you going? Yes, group power hours are my jam too. So this is my love language. I'm kind of an extrovert, so I'm like, I love it. Okay. I enjoy working with my team and sidelines too. Lock the door, essential oil going. Yep. Well, mine is right now I am by myself. My girls are upstairs, so I'm praying that they are okay, and because I'm a single mama tonight, so we'll see. Okay, so first thing.
Hey, Cassey.
Yeah.
I was just going to let you know I'm driving, so that's why y'all see my picture, and I'm just listening in. So if I don't talk, that's...
You're all right, girl. I'm going to go ahead and mute you, so don't worry. Thanks for telling me. Okay, let's see. All right, so the first things first is we are going to follow up. I'm going to share in the chat an amazing video that I found a while back. It's from Emily Gibson. It's how to follow up in the 4 ways. And if you haven't watched it, highly recommend, but I'm going to tell you what she says in the video. So raise your hand if you have a new customer or new ambassador in the last month. Okay, so most of us. Okay, so that's good because this is what we're going to do. And I think it makes a huge difference in our follow-ups and how we're reaching out to them. So number 1, let's say they've been on it a month. So if they've been on it for a month, what I start with is like, hey, I wanted to check up on you. Are you finding a good rhythm now? I want to see if your rhythm, if your routine is going well. That's it. Because I think if we're just saying, hey, have you noticed energy yet? We're setting them up for failure because what if they haven't noticed anything yet? Because for me, I didn't notice a lot of big things after 3 to 4 months. So first things first, I'll just start with number 1. Let's say they just started today. And I'm going to type these out so you can start reaching out to your at least 5, if you have more, 10 people with these follow-up tips so you can see where they're at. So number 1 is, hey, did you get your stuff? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for you. The shipping department is normally 3 to 5 business days, but sometimes sooner. Have you gotten your stuff? This is somebody that just signed up. And then what I usually do is I say, hey, when you do, let me know so that I can send you information on how to start. Do not start until I talk to you first. Because we want them to start slow. Number 2, how did you like the taste of the pink drink? Because we don't want them to say, hey, did you notice you didn't, have any sugar cravings or anything like that? We're setting up for failure if maybe they didn't have any of that yet. So just how did you like the taste? I want to see what you thought about it. That's number 2. This is like the first few days that you've talked to them. Then this is when I send the Brooke Hemingway video. If you don't know that one, I can share that too later. And I usually send, I have a chart that our team has, and it's been floating around. It's the ideal chart and the alternate, and I send that as well on how for them to start. Okay, let's say it's been about a week and a half. Then I say, are you getting into a good rhythm? This is where I'm asking kind of, how's your routine? Are you getting your water in? Things like that. Now, the last but not least, let's say they're doing great. They're getting their routine, their rhythm down. You're going to say, it's so great that you're doing so well. I'm so excited for you. Have you noticed you experiencing an increase in water intake? Have you noticed? This is when you start asking the little things, not the big victories yet. We want to know little things. So I'll type these out for you, but we're going to use those messages and we're going to reach out to those new people right now. Because one, we want to see how they're doing if you haven't checked in on them. We want to see if they have a good rhythm, a good routine. And if they're not, I always let them know, because sometimes you're going to get like, oh my goodness, I keep forgetting my bio cleanse. Who's heard that one 100 times? I know I have. The bio cleanse, I always tell them, set a reminder. It helped me so much. Set it for 2 o'clock every day. And you know what? Sometimes myself, I can only take it 1 time a day because my schedule's crazy. So if that gets to where you can only take it 1 time a day, you know what? That's better than not taking it at all. So try to have them set a reminder, and usually have them set it, 2 and after dinner or something. Get those going. We're going to only take about 10 minutes with this because it's so crucial that first month when they get started to keep them going. Another thing, make sure they're in 2 things. They're in the welcome group, welcome to your first 60 days. If they're not, highly recommend getting in there. We've had great feedback and a lot of people are staying because of it. 2, make sure you start a 3-way thread with your upline. Never say the word upline. They are your friend. They were your friend first or you wouldn't be in this with them. Let them know, hey, I want you to meet my friend Kasha. I'm so excited that you're doing this. I just want to connect you to. That's it. Don't ask permission. You're going to go ahead and do it. Because again, when they see third-party validation, it's going to be huge for them too. They're seeing somebody else in this. And we can help them along the way. If Kasha or Tammy or anybody of you guys are not available, then your friend is available for them. So 10 minutes. And we're going to do that. Again, on my power hours, it's open. So if you have questions, please ask the next 10 minutes. And I'll type these out.
Hey, Cassie. I know there's
Yes.
a couple of people on here that don't have customers or ambassadors yet. So do you want to give them something to do as well?
Yeah, we can. So if you don't have a customer or an ambassador yet, you can go ahead, you can do our next thing right now. And that one is, who does not have a customer or an ambassador right now? Raise your hand if you're on. Okay, so Abby. Okay, Abby, have you watched the Jake video, the Bob that I was talking about? Call it the Bob. Okay, good. Take the few minutes and watch this follow-up video. For some of you that haven't, Liza, you too. It's only 6 minutes, so that'll fill up a lot of the time. So watch that for a few minutes, and then if we still have a few more minutes, then I'll have one more thing for you to do. And if you've watched that, type that in the chat, and I'll have you guys do something as well. Thanks, Tiffany.
Plan your work and work your plan.
Okay, so for some of you guys hopping on, we have about 5 minutes left. We are reaching out to all of our new customers and ambassadors that are on the products. And these are the, oh goodness, there's a link in there. And click on the link and it is a follow-up video on how to follow up with your people. And it's a method that Emily Gibson, I absolutely love. And so I typed it out on kind of what you should do right before they get their stuff. So it's like, you go from 1 to about 5. And then after that, after your initial month, you're just constantly just checking in, how's life, things like that. Not always Plexus. We don't always want to bug them about Plexus. Like, you really should know your people and get to know them. So that's what we're doing right now. We have about 4 minutes left. Okay, I hope that helps everybody. I typed everything out on the side, so you guys can grab that and maybe keep it so that you can start using it and tweaking it how you would talk. Because again, some of these messages, we don't want to completely copy and paste. We wanted to make it our own. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to let you guys finish up, so I'll talk. The next thing we're going to do is our connections list. So when I mean connections, like the people that we're engaging with already. We might not have talked about Plexus yet, and if we have, that's fine. But this is just people we're trying to engage with or we already have. So what we're going to do is on Facebook and Instagram, the next about 10, 15 minutes, we're going to take a little bit longer on this one. We're going to message them. Let's say I see a picture of somebody I just saw earlier. Me and Cassey were talking about it. She was making cinnamon rolls for a fundraiser. So I'm going to comment on that picture, and I'm also going to private message her as well. Like, oh my goodness, I wish you were closer. I would love a cinnamon roll. Things like that to start a conversation, because sometimes we forget that. We always just comment on the picture, but we never take it into a personal message sometimes and really get to know that person more. Even if you've already known them, like this is where conversations really start and really get going. So we're going to do that about 5 to 10 people, and honestly more if you can. but try to just reach out and love on them. Whatever you see, that's what we're doing. If you need help, please let me know, because I know sometimes it's really hard to figure out, what do I say to this person? So if you see something like that, let me know. I love connecting with people, so I can help with wording or anything like that as well. And we can do that. And I'll share some ideas and tips in the chat that I've used. All right, y'all ignore my children banging upstairs. There's no telling what they're doing, but I'm gonna kind of show you. I'm gonna share my screen. And for instance, I just saw this one. I've been trying to engage and ignore my tabs. My team knows I'm a tab hoarder. This girl right here, Amy, I used to work with her in Wichita. Love her. She posts some funny things every now and then, and this is pretty hilarious. And so I'm probably gonna reach out to her and be like, oh my goodness, girl, I have the exact same thing happen to me all the time. Those toddler days, how are you doing? Because she just had a new baby not that long ago. And just start a conversation, because then it could lead into plexus. And so with her, I'm probably just going to reach out to her. I'll let you know what I typed. Just something like that. When you see something, try to find something that you can use. Okay, so what I said to her was, oh my goodness, girl, you cracked me up with your mom life stuff. How's things going? So little things like that, just to get a conversation going and get some engagement. Again, please do not feel like you can't talk. We talk here. You guys need anything, let me know.
Hey, I have something to pitch in. Okay? I think a lot of times we think that, or maybe this is just me, I feel like if I haven't talked to someone in since middle school, then just being like, hey, how are you, girl? Even if we were really good friends in middle school, then it's kind of awkward or whatever. But I had someone message me the other day, and I love the movie Newsies, and we used to watch Newsies all the time in middle school, and she just straight up messaged me. I haven't talked to her in 20 years, and she just messaged me. It's like, hey, Newsies is on. I just remembered we had so much fun, good memories. And I thought, that is such a bright, shining part of my day. And it was fun to just hear from someone who I hadn't talked to in forever. So I think taking the awkwardness out of it and just genuinely connecting with people, you could really brighten someone's day. You just never know.
I agree.
It's
and
not
even
awkward.
And even if it's like, I was thinking of you today and how we used to be in choir and all the fun times we had, or or art or just something that was quirky about them or that you loved about them. I have tons of I hoard stuff apparently, and I have lots of high school stuff too. And so I had taken some pictures. I actually sent Crystal was on the call earlier. I sent her a picture and several other pictures to people. I'm like, oh my goodness, look what I found. And it just starts conversation, like Jana just said. And you brighten their day. That would have brightened mine too. Like, oh my goodness, look how crazy I looked. I can't believe I wore that. Things like that. Okay, I haven't heard back from this person, so I won't share the name, but this comes up a lot. And so they had said, I have a hard time when they like something and how the products changed, you know, her life and whatever, but then you say, well, how much is Plexus? Like, you get the cost stuff all the time. And it's something that it really depends on the person, how upfront you can be with them and how not upfront you can be with them. Because some I can be like, girl, I know you drink 2 Cokes a day. Trust me. We can get off the 2 Cokes and replace it. And then there's some I have to really yellow it up. And if you don't know what yellow is, we have all kinds of codes like yellow, not codes, colors. And it just kind of gives you an insight of who you are. And so yellow, sometimes it's hard for me to be bold. And so with some people, I just, what I call yellow it up. And with people that talk about cost, I usually bring up, you know, I completely understand. I was there too. And I am so grateful that it's replaced my doctor's appointment. Sometimes you have to kind of make it click for other things that you were able to replace with that. If you didn't have to replace things, try to think of things that maybe it could replace for them. You don't realize how often we go to the gas station and grab, I mean, I saw it yesterday when I went to the gas station, this girl had all kinds of things in her hands, chips, an energy drink, and I know I should have talked to her, and a Snickers bar. Like, things like that add up, and we don't realize what we're spending daily on those little things. Again, we don't want to make that person feel guilty, but just let them know, like, I didn't realize really how much I was spending on the little things daily, that even though this seems like a big cost up front, it's usually about $2 to $3 a day. And once you break it down numbers wise, it really helps people. So that's what I do. If you guys have other things that are working with you that have been in the company longer, share, because this is why it's good to have lots of minds on here. We have several people on here. So share away what's worked for you. Mm-hmm. Jana made a really good point. I kind of do the same thing. I rarely use the Plexus can replace this method, but instead put heavy emphasis on the value of the products. Because if someone would have used, it will replace your daily coffee method, it would have said no, like I would have said no thanks, which is so true. I think that I had somebody tell me this the other day. I'm so glad that when they told me this, I'm so glad that you didn't say, oh, I could replace my doctor's visits or whatever. Well, it replaced mine, but I don't know what's going on with her life. Jana, and you get the 60 days to try it too. So true. I think that as long as we're genuine with people, that's what matters. If they really know our heart and what we're doing, that we truly care about this person, that's what's going to make the biggest difference. Okay, just a few more minutes. About 5 minutes on this, because this is important to really like. And make sure you're trying to do this on Instagram and Facebook if you have Instagram. Okay, okay, is it Charisse? Did I say that right? Can I unmute you? I hope I'm saying that right. Okay. She had said, a few people just ask, so what is Plexus all about? Okay. So for some of you that are just starting out, you're going to get this a lot. So really, you have to figure out what your elevator speech is going to be. So maybe that's something we spend time on for a few minutes while other people are still reaching out. So what Plexus is what's it all about? So Plexus is a gut company. We're in health and wellness. We really try to love on people and help them feel better and get to the root of the issue. I know it did for me. Again, every spill is going to be a little bit different for each person. I usually try to go into a little bit of my story. If you don't have a story yet, that's okay. Just say, this is why I decided to do Plexus. Like, what made it interesting for you? Because then it might be the same for them. It might gear them back towards that. So I don't know if that helps answer your question. So really, Plexus really is all about, getting you happy and balanced and making you feel better. It is, Plexus. So Janice said it too. Plexus is a company that has health products that address 3 big things, which is gut. Yep, she said it. Blood sugar, inflammation, and gut health. And really that ties in everything just in one small sentence. You don't have to go into everything. Sometimes I go into my story, again, depending on the person, but other than that, it's really all you need to know. Because sometimes if you do too much, you're vomiting and you're throwing too much Plexus on somebody, and they don't need to hear all that. I like Jana's analogy. She's always good at this. She said BIG, blood sugar, inflammation, gut health, big. How is you guys' following up and stuff going? Do y'all need anything? Help following up with anybody or wording? Yay, Deb, that's awesome. She has 3 new customers this week. That's amazing. Again, short and sweet sometimes. It's all you need. And I really love, another thing is, and I should have said this earlier. So when I try to reach out to somebody, and I'll show you this new method, you can send a video. It's a short 15-second video, but when people see your face, they can see how your expression, how you're really, truly, really are trying to help them. And it's not as cold as a text message. So if you can, I always voice message. I try to get on the phone with them, or now I'm sending those videos. The last thing I do is text or type in a message, because again, they can't hear my voice. They can't hear how I really want to help them. And I think it makes a huge difference. It might not be for you, but I promise if you try it, it's going to be amazing. And if not, a Zoom. Again, text is like the last thing. I always try to get on a Zoom too. We do lots of potential calls, and they're amazing when you can actually talk to somebody face to face. And if you aren't doing that, I highly recommend, let's say you have a potential, like all these engagements that you're talking about, and you finally get to talk about Plexus. Start asking them like, hey, you know what? I actually would love for you to talk to Jana. Do you have a few minutes tomorrow at 3 p.m.? I always set a time. And because if you don't, it's just too wide open. You're trying to close a time on that, on that. Another thing, if you haven't read this book, we now are reading this with all of our new level 1s. It's Get Over Your Darn. I'll say darn self because, that's how I am. It's truly amazing. It gives you all the wording you need. It tells you exactly what you need to hear. But what I'm telling my team is you need the audio and the book, because it makes a huge difference when she's talking to you versus you talking to yourself when you're reading it. And maybe my people can tell you that too, because I love the audio in it. Okay. What what did you say was best if you haven't talked to somebody in a while? Okay. So if I haven't talked to somebody in a while, Jana made a good comment earlier, and we were talking about, like, let's say high school, because most of us were reaching out to a lot of our high school people that are still somewhat in our warm market. I usually will bring up, oh my goodness, it's been so long. How are you? What are you up to now? Do you still live in Texas? Because I was in high school in Texas. Do you still live in Texas? I noticed you had 2 kids. Anything that you can start a conversation with. That's what you do. So I usually kind of troll their Facebook for a minute and see what's going on in their life so I can find something that I can reach out to them with. I hope that helps. Janice said, pretend like you just ran into them at Walmart or Target. Yep. She said, what would you say? We're going to have about 2 more minutes on this one.
Cassey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I can't type because I'm driving.
Yeah.
So, just anybody that's new, because I'm fairly new to the game, I had a lady on Instagram that I didn't even know. So my plexus was crystal, just the post and everything else and kind of sharing my story or whatever it is. It took about a week and a half of just questions from her. So don't get discouraged and don't sit there and be like, oh my gosh, it's taken forever or anything like that, because she actually put in her first order today. So took a week and a half of a lot of questions. Thanks to Cassey and Jennifer for their help. But so just stay on it and, just be real with them and stuff like that. Because this lady, she lives in Louisiana. I don't even know who she is, but apparently she follows my stuff. So anybody that's new, just seriously don't get discouraged if it's taking so long. I'm sure they will eventually go around. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I still have people, I mean, I've been doing this for 2 years now. I still have people that I'm still engaging with that have never finally pushed the easy button and just doing it. But sometimes it takes longer for engagements and connections. And sometimes you all you have to do is to start that initial message. Maybe they've been following your posts and then they're on it. They're ready. It really it's all God's timing. It really is. I mean, I knew about Plexus a year and a half prior. So it really is his timing, and just keep in contact with them, even if they tell you no, because I told somebody no, and Jana, at least 10 times, at least. And they tell you that, I think the ratio is 8. You're going to get told, no 8 times, then that 9th time is a yes, or 8th time is a yes. And that's so true, because I've had people flat up tell me and laugh at me for doing this, and that now are a customer, or now they're an ambassador. So things change.
Yeah, and just like you were talking about, reaching out to high school friends, like Jennifer and I, or you and I, we've been Facebook friends forever, but Jennifer reached out to me, and the way she did, drew me in it, and I was ready to listen and everything. And in the back of my head, I've sold other stuff, but in the back of my head, I was like, oh no, I'm going to tell the truth. I was like, oh crap, another new thing or whatever. But the more she talked to me about it, the more interested I became. So that initial reaching out, if it wasn't for her doing that, then I never would have joined the team. So, and gosh, we keep up with each other on Facebook, but other than that, it was kind of just like, hey, so her reaching out to me, just doing that with an old high school friend or whatever, it does work may not work every time, but it does work.
Well, and I'll give an example. There was a girl that I just met. I don't know much about, and I reached out to her, and I'll tell you my message. Let me find it. I had it up on my hundreds of tabs. Here we go. I said, hey, girl, I know we totally just met, and you might think that I'm the craziest person ever, but I would love to talk to you more about what I do. I seriously think you would love it, and we would have so much fun together. You have all the qualities. You're funny, you're easy to talk to, outgoing, and just a joy to be around. Also, being able to travel, having more mom time, and being home more, all the things. Would you have a moment tomorrow to hang out? Or even this week? No pressure at all. That was it. And she said, I totally don't think you're crazy. I definitely am open to hearing about what you're doing. And then she said she was busy tomorrow, but she was free Friday. So I am meeting with her Friday. And that was just, I've not talked to her about Plexus before. We had kindly, fairly had mentioned it. And I think that sometimes when you feel like that person's amazing, you need to be bold. Do your Wonder Woman pose that we learned, some of us that learned at Super Saturday, and just be real and be you, because if not, somebody else is going to reach out to them, and then you're going to feel horrible when you try to reach out to them and they're already signed up with somebody else, or they're already taking products with somebody else. I have had so many amazing people that I have stayed in contact with, but never went for it, and they signed up with somebody else, even though they knew I've been doing Plexus. So you just have to be bold and reach out to them and tell them why you think that they would be amazing at the business, or why you think these products would be amazing for them too. Okay.
Sorry, can I say one more thing and I'll shut up?
You're okay.
I also think that you kind of have to look at it too as, look at all the actors and actresses that went and did all these auditions and had several no's and all that, and they finally got their yes. So when you reach out to people, don't get discouraged if you have those 5 or 6 people that say no, because the next one may be yes, or the next 5 may be. So
you're cutting out, girl. But thank you. I love that analogy. We did hear most of it. Yeah, I heard it. Okay. We're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so this is our favorite bug that we have. It's called a cricket. Who likes crickets? Nobody, right? Nobody. I don't. So when I get a cricket, again, it really depends on the person, because sometimes I can be bold and be like, hey, did you get my message right there? With the one right there? Or like, hey, I know you're super, super busy. I just want to make sure that you got my message above. Sometimes I do that a lot. Or I've done it to where I've sent probably 5 or 6 messages, and I finally was like, okay, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall, but I really want to know how you are and what you think about what I said. And you know what? When I say that, I get instant feedback. Instant. Because people sometimes are busy. They get sidetracked. All of us do. I know sometimes I forget messages all the time. So I try to keep that in mind. When you have a cricket, think about that. Like, think about how your day is, and sometimes you just can't get to stuff, or you've accidentally looked at it and you forgot about it a month later. Don't let it take that long for your crickets. I mean, I followed up with people no more than 8 times. I know that sounds crazy, but usually around then they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I've just been so busy. Or it's not that I didn't, I don't have the money right now. They're going to be more honest with you. I usually say, I would rather you to be honest with me 5 messages ago than it being this long. So when you get crickets, I reach out to one, I say, hey, did you get my message above? I know that you're super, super busy, and the last thing I want to do is take up any more of your time. But I truly meant what I said. Leave it at that. So like, let's say you're reaching out. If I use that message from, what I just said a minute ago to one of the girls that's coming over Friday, and let's say she did not respond, I would wait about a day or 2 and say exactly that. Like, hey, I really meant everything that I said above. I would love to just know your input. If it's not for you, that's completely okay. I just wanted to know what maybe I saw in you, or why I think that you would be great with this. Always connect back to them, and promise those crickets will start like fading if you are bold enough and really just ask them like, hey, did Did you get my message? So we're going to reach out to our crickets really quick because I know you probably have some. I know I do. And we're only going to take about 5 minutes for that. And voice message, or you can type this one. Typing is usually what I kind of do on this one. Okay, we had a really good question. How long do you usually wait in between messages if you're getting crickets? Okay, so I usually wait no longer than a week. So like, let's say I reached out today, not going to try to reach out in an hour, even though I see that they've seen it. What I'm going to do is I usually wait 24 to 48 hours. So maybe tomorrow, maybe 3 days, but no longer than a week. Because again, I get busy. I know they're busy. So no longer than a week, but try to do it within 24 to 48 hours. Liza, what if it's been longer than a week? Oh my goodness, this has happened to me multiple times, so don't worry. I usually say, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Like if it's been a long, long cricket. I'm so sorry. Well, let me back up. Hang on, let me think. Sometimes, like, I have to go on their Facebook and stroll for a minute because they're obviously ignoring me sometimes for a reason. Let's say it's been 2 or 3 crickets. Then I try to find something that I can engage with. Like, oh my goodness, I saw your son was in soccer. I'm thinking of having Shiley try a sport this year. Have you done anything else other than soccer? What did you like about it? Things like that. Now, if it's been longer and you haven't, there's nothing to engage with or nothing to bring up, then I usually will do my message like, hey, I know that you're super, super busy. Did you get my message above? I just wanted to see how you were doing and what you thought. Even if it's been longer than a week, you know, I'm so sorry. I'm usually, I've been crazy busy, but I wanted to check on you and let you know and see how you're doing and what you thought about my message. Anybody else can chime in, like Jan, or I think Jana's gone. No, Jana's there. If you have anything else that you use or do, but that's usually what I do.
Cassey, sometimes I'll pull back the sale and say something like, I think that was a Bob Heilig tip too, of like, you know, I can see that now is not the right time for Plexus. You know, I don't ever want this to be awkward. I value your friendship so much. Just know that I'm here for you if you ever are ready. You know, want to make sure that this all stays, you know, good and whatever. And sometimes that encourages people to be like, oh my gosh, no, I really did want to order. Don't like take this away. Like, I want this stuff. And sometimes people will say, you're right. You know, we had some expenses come up. I'm sorry. But then there's not that awkward, like,
yeah,
I never like to leave them just open, like close them up.
I do too. And I usually try to do an end date. Like they're like, if they'll say, it's just not the right time, money's tired, whatever. I'm like, no problem. I completely understand. Would next month be better? What if I just touch base with you next month? Because then they know, and you know, okay, I have a month or I have 2 weeks or whatever it is. There's a timeline, like Ashley said, to that. But yeah, we use the breakup message a lot too. We call it the breakup message. I love it. And I always let them know that I value their friendship first. Like if Plexus is not for them, that's okay. They're still my friend. And I really want to push that and let them know that they're not going to hurt my feelings. I mean, it's just like a piece of cake. If you like chocolate and I like vanilla, okay. Just let them, don't get upset if they don't want Plexus. Just move on and smile and know you can help somebody else.
And sometimes I won't even say that whole spiel about you're important to me and whatever happens, because your words will mean less than your actions do. So if someone says no to Plexus and then you continue to interact with them, I know that might be a lot to keep up with. Like if you get a lot of no's, because we're supposed to go for no, but really just make it a point to still keep those people on your news feeds or in your life, or just interact with them. Because your words say not as much as your actions do. You know, you got to show them.
Exactly. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close that up. I want you to do 2 more things that won't take hardly any time. Just do it after the power hour. The next thing that I was going to have you guys do was think about your hobbies. What do you love? Because sometimes our market, we need to get larger. We need to think of things like, what do you love? What are your passions? And try to find groups that you can join so that you can start learning and finding other people that are like you, that love the same things that you do, that enjoy hiking or biking or homeschooling or whatever. Start joining a couple of those groups. Probably no more than 3 because it can kind of get hard to keep up. Try to find 1 to 3 and start engaging in those groups. Start doing that this week, and you're going to see amazing results because of it. And you might even start making friendships. And then the last thing that I was going to have you do was go into your back office. And this is something that I do. I try to reach out to my new levels 1 through 3, because your levels 1 through 3 are heartbeat. And I know a lot of people on here are newer. So once you start doing this and getting a team, start remembering this. Your levels 1 through 3 are your heartbeat of your team. And you want to get to know all of your new level 1s, no matter if they joined last month or 4 months ago. Start to get to know them. Get to know them, get to know their families, things like that. Connect with them. Start a 3-way thread. Even if it's been forever, start one. Get them to meet your upline, but I try not to use the word upline. And what I do is I usually send a voice message to anybody that's new, and I say, hey, my name's Cassey. I'm so excited that you are a part of this family, because for us, you're a part of my family. And I love Tiffany, and I cannot wait to hear more about what brought you to Plexus. And I hope to talk to you soon. A short introduction is usually what I do to anybody new. So try to remember that, because it's going to be huge in your journey as well. And then the other thing that I was going to have you do is go into your back office. And for some of you that have been in this a while, write down your points today and try to do it every 2 to 3 days. It really makes a huge impact, so you can see the growth. Because sometimes in this business, you do this. You have lots of roller coasters. So it's nice to kind of see where you're at. So even if you're just starting out and you're starting to learn what these points are, it's pretty neat to see, like, oh my goodness, I gained a point, or I gained 5 points, or whatever. It's pretty neat to write down and start keeping track of it. I'm so glad you guys came on. Again, if you have any questions about what messages you need help with, what is working for me or anybody, I would love to hear and share with you so that you can have an amazing journey too and be able to help out more people. So don't be afraid. We all were there, and just know that you're going to be able to bless so many people just by sharing. And that is it, guys. I'm so glad you guys came. And I hope all these people you reached out to were blessed and that they see your heart in it too. So love you guys, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome.